Right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Another video, a bit delayed, but I'm back on it for this one. Started off the session, 4 sets of standing calf raise, because I need some bigger calves. It's chest and shoulders today. I'm only gonna do sort of 1 set and exercise today because I'm pretty battered. Been really hot recently. I did a big session with Josh Maley the other day for his YouTube channel. And it was supposed to be anterior today, which would include basically the front side of my body, so that would include quads and chest, if you will. And they're still fucked. So I'm just gonna do chest and delts today instead. But we're just gonna drop the volume down a bit because I am still a little bit cooked. Still being natty, still being 120 milligram test. You know, I'm not gonna recover as well. I train pretty hard, I train pretty intense. So the days when it is hurting, you listen. No, that is as far back as it goes. So, I'm just gonna do the 1 set here today. Full straight set, and then I'll do the same for everything else. So it'll be a fast session, but it should be very effective. So first one, pec deck, 8 to 10, I believe. I did this session in a different gym last time, so just working the numbers up, feeling things out. Yeah, it's only like this machine, and that's it, it'll be different. Alright, what was that? 230, not bad. I did it on a prime last time, I think I did like 290, but this is an Atlantis. So it's not the same. Whew. Right, big pause in the stretch, big hold and contraction, power, power, power. All of my clients recently, I've really been hammering home the importance of driving the whole set. Like, even when you get stuck in that concentric part of the motion, because I say to guys, you've got to get into the partials. They'll get stuck and they'll go, oh, the rep's done, that rep's done. They're not fighting, they're not holding. You've really got to get into that stick, that inertia, and fucking go for it. Really try and get through it. And this is what a lot of guys, particularly in like commercial facilities, like a Pure Gym or wherever it is, they're really afraid to exert themselves, make a bit of fucking noise, get angry, get aggressive, and control it. And they're really afraid to do that. And it's a perception thing, I think. Because a lot of guys, well, they've just never been there. They've never had that. They've never had that in their head to be like, fucking go for it, you know, for whatever reason. So it's about learning that and driving for the thing which feels impossible. within the set. And it'll come, it'll always move until it doesn't. But you'll know it won't move when that happens. It isn't a case of just getting to here going, oh, that's hard, and then letting go of it. That's hard, go for more. Even if you don't get it, still try. So pushing the intensity, always important. Don't back out. You can easily do that. That's why it's good to video your sets so you know what you're doing. Right, that's my non-filming head on. Just completely forgot to film that on. Talked to the camera for about 5 minutes, it wasn't even on. Excellent. Anyway, I just did this for like, I want to say 11 reps, which is good, but it's still not very heavy. 110 kilos? No, 105 kilos. I've never been strong at pressing. I have a relatively large chest, but it's something I need to work on. I need a bigger chest. And in the bodybuilding rounds, this is nothing. Professional bodybuilding rounds. So, something I've got to bring up. It's going to take a long time. Pressing is one of the things it takes fucking forever to increase. Really difficult to do it, especially if you're doing it with strict form like I do. Big pauses and that sort of thing. So, take the wins where you can. A rep up every week is a big win. A lot of the time you will just maintain. But it's that repeated effort over time. Eventually things creep, start coming up. So, you just got to stay at it. So, got to stick with it. I think people jump around too much with exercises and they don't, like, I'll try and run this for a few years, you know, as long as nothing happens. So, yeah, it's one of those, you just got to be consistent in effort. So, I promise you I did the set. Anyway, we're on to overhead press now. So you'll notice with this, I am tucking my elbows in pretty fucking hard, which is the opposite of what I was doing on the flat press. This is because I want to maximize the range of motion at the shoulder. If I come super wide, I'm going to get a lot of, if I come like this instead, I'm probably going to end up with a lot of upper chest because I'm going to stretch it a lot. Now granted, you're still going to stretch it a fair amount doing this, but with my elbows forward like this, I can actually get more upright in the press. The only thing that's limiting my ability to get upright is the bar smacking me in the chin. So I've got to go a little bit more like that. But we want those elbows tucked so I can get more emphasis on that delt rather than the chest. It's great to have a big top line, but I want bigger shoulders specifically with this movement. Also makes it harder. So the more difficult I can make it for the shoulder, the more potential I have to grow my shoulder rather than my chest using this movement. Hence why I'm doing it. 75. See a bit of auto-regulation in this session as well for dropping the volume right down. Also changing what session I'm doing. So over to one which is just more chest rather than quads. If I'm feeling like, you know, tired or certain things are not feeling recovered, there's no point in me going in and being like, I'm going to do it anyway. Because I know I'm not going to progress or I could potentially cause an injury. Or I'm going to put myself further into the floor, which is the more likely case than those other things. Just one of those. Know when to react, basically. And you have to be able to do it in the moment. Hence why I'm actually dressed for the other session. I wouldn't normally just wear a t-shirt, two chests, I'd wear a stringer because I'm a man. But yeah, sometimes you do have to auto-regulate in the moment, which is fine. And if you are of a skill level to do so, then do. Anyway, let's try and see if we can progress this. Okay, dropping the volume makes things easy to progress. Jesus Christ, it's like 3 reps up. Oh, might be an idea. I have to do it with legs. I can't do shitloads of volume on legs in one session, I just end up gassed. But it might be an idea to consider. I don't need to do as many sets because I can get more progression out of less. Never know. Dips. Super deep on these. Want to be trying to think about getting your wrist to your shoulder. Let's have a look. 10 kilos. Not much. When you're using this much range of motion with a big pause, these get really difficult. And dips, it's really easy to fuck yourself up on dips. So take them control, take them slow, remove the momentum, just make it about your muscles. Let's do a warm-up. I should probably do a warm-up. You see that? All the way down. Yep. And a pause. Nice. Right, 10 kilos, let's get it on. Strapped up. Thing is, when you do 1 set per exercise as well, you can get through a session pretty fucking quick. So if you are short for time, train really hard, real fast, low volume. You still produce progression, you can still gain muscle. Very easily. Not easily, but you can still do all those things you need to do. So a lot of the time, low volume can be the answer for a lot of people, but only if you can train really hard. If you can't train really hard, there's no fucking point in doing it. You're just going to tickle your muscle. There's nothing to it, is there? As Menza said, the stick of dynamite will not blow up if you tap it. You've got to hit it with a hammer. So we're going to hit it with a hammer. Oh, fucking hell, that's hell. Whoa, dips are hard to progress. 9 reps. Solid work. Okay, now I'm trying to remember what's next. I think we're on to shoulders. I don't know, can't remember. And this is where my microphone died on me. Need to charge it before I do a video, clearly. This is incline cuff laterals. I'm clearly talking through the benefits of the new Hardbody adjustable cuff. They're a bit thinner. They only have one D handle rather than the 2 that cuffs normally have. And they're just overall better for anything that goes across the wrist, which obviously most of the time cuffs do, unless you're doing some booty stuff. Inclined laterals, obviously, we are bringing them up and out rather than just straight out to the side. So it's about a 45-degree angle to the body rather than either straight up like some people do. They obviously get it a bit off to the front or completely out to the side. We want to go in between, as I'm explaining with my arms there. I've also got the cable set up at knee height. It allows for sort of a better line of force. So that's what we're going with on these. So again, just the 1 set per exercise here. So I think it was an 8 to 10. I went at my same weight as last week, so 60 pounds on each stack. And I think I only managed 7. So leading on from obviously all the other exercise done, where I've had PRs across most of them except for dips, which was held, really trying to push into those other sets, it can be difficult. You might not be able to get as many as you think, even with the lower volume. So sometimes we do come against these things. Also, it is a movement with a small muscle group, so don't expect to easily progress everything like that. Obviously, on to cable front raises here. Now, a lot of people miss out front raises. Very good for the front delt. I'm supposed to be doing quite a lower rep range here, but again, with it being 1 set per exercise, you can push pretty fucking hard with some things, and this is obviously something that I'm able to bring up quite easily. It's a movement I've only really started implementing since prep as well, so there's going to be a lot of runway for this, whereas the other stuff I've been doing for a while anyway. So in terms of adding a new exercise, you are going to have that ability to progress stuff a bit quicker. But yeah, full to just above the forehead height, and as we go on, I'm not able to get that high anymore. So still pushing those partials full into the contraction there until we run out of reps, basically. Then on to overhead tricep extension here. Awkward as fuck to get into, but an excellent movement across the tricep. If there's something you're not doing here, you're not doing an overhead movement, then you really need to be including it in your tricep work, because it is just a great press. You are really able to load this movement heavily, unlike a push down, which you get to a certain point and you're just going to end up pushing yourself into the ceiling rather than the weight. So if you've got a seated position you can do where you can actually counteract the weight with your own body weight, then that's going to be fantastic. You're really locked into this movement and drive through the elbows. You can see I am trying to tuck my elbows, but obviously they still end up pushed out wide, particularly in that contracted position, which is absolutely fine. We're going to hit a lot of that length and head here. We're going to hit the whole fucking tricep anyway, but it is just a case of really keep the movement nice controlled, because this is one that's easy to slam the shit out of the elbows on, so be careful with it, but do also work hard. Hand position is quite close together on this as well. Again, work until absolute failure. Ooh, onto the ab stuff now. So we've got a special machine here, Rocky 4 style, the oblique twist. You don't see these at all in many gyms, but old Cybex piece here. So literally for the obliques. I know a lot of bodybuilders are very adverse to training their obliques directly because they think, I'm an with a really wide waist. But when you are peeled
and you don't have obliques, if you're not training your abs, then realistically it's an area of detail you're going to miss out on. And how much are my obliques really going to fucking hypertrophy from doing this? It's not going to add inches to my waist, and even if it does, it's going to add a serious amount of detailed musculature. So I'm pretty happy to continue on with this one. Also makes all of my other movements feel pretty solid because it's addressing an area which I haven't really addressed before in a long time at least, and want to be strengthening it anyway. So missing out your obliques is probably a bit of an error for some people. If you're not training them at the minute, it might be a good idea to start. And then we're moving on to the declined sit-up, which is another thing people don't do, especially if it's weighted, which I've got here. Weight going directly behind my head. If you put it on your chest, it's just way too easy. You may as well not even have it there. So the thing you can do over time, obviously with this, as you get stronger at this movement, it's going to be really difficult to hold like more than one 20-kilo plate behind your head, especially if you're trying to progressively overload it. Like, you know, how are you going to hold a 22 and a 2.5-kilo plate as well behind your head? It's just not going to work. So moving over to a cable version of this would be a really good idea. Annoyingly, in this gym, we don't have like a standalone decline bench. In the other Meritor we do, but in this one we don't, so it is a case of I'm just having to make do at the minute. So that's why I'm doing the oblique twist first, so I can't go as heavy on these. I have used a 25-kilo plate on this before when I was smashing the shit out of it. Yes, it will thicken your abs, but I need those dense abs. If I'm going to stand on the stage with those big guys, I'm going to need some very thick and detailed abs, so I've really got to try and develop that. And the people that say that it's genetic, that's like saying any body part is genetic. Leading into a drop set into rest pause here, so slight rest pause there, 20 seconds. I just sped that bit up for you. And then we're into a little bit more straight through to complete failure as much as I can at the abs, because it is obviously one set. Now, am I necessarily overly happy with my physique at the minute? Like, it's all right. You know, it's not going to get on stage anytime soon, and that's the whole point. We're in a relaxed period here. You know, I'm still obviously following meal plan, diet plan to the letter and wanting to improve as much as I can. And, you know, bodybuilding is, at the end of the day, growing. And if you are afraid to do that and afraid to put on a bit of body fat, then it's going to be really hard for you to get any bigger and stronger, because you are going to severely limit your ability to do both of those things if you aren't willing to eat and put on a little bit of the chunk. You know, this is still a good look by anybody's means, but obviously the inner bodybuilder in your head is there like, you're getting fat, bro, and then you can see a couple of glute lines left. I'm like, you're not getting fat, mate, but you're just fatter than you were, which was obviously not a functional place to be in terms of body fat levels. So, you know, not completely peeled or anything like that, not shredded, but we're still holding some good lines, doing all right in the off season. You know, it is one of those things that people get in their own head, and I get in my own head. I'm talking about being in my own head right now, but still working on the abs, still working on the vacuum, and making sure that everything holds tight this off season. So I hope you enjoyed, and I will endeavor to keep these videos coming throughout the whole off season. See you in the next one, ladies and gentlemen.